everyone and welcome back to the Colour Cave where we like to play with art stuff. My name is Jem and it's time for our monthly Upcrate unboxing. I will be doing the challenge that comes in the box as a separate video, probably about a week from now, so you can watch out for that a bit later on. This monthly subscription box comes from Germany. So with this monthly box, we get a selection of supplies that are curated, and we have an art prompt which is called the Upcrate battle in this case, and we create an artwork to fit the prompt. We also get a featured artist to give us some inspiration, as well as a magazine with some information and other arty stuff in it too. Oh, the paper's a nice colour. On your marks, set, draw. So let's have a wee look here. This is our featured artist, Anna Reichs. Oh, now that, what is this? This looks like paint, maybe? My name is Anna Louisa Richstein, 29 years old and from wonderful Berlin. Oh, her artwork's really interesting. So this is some of her other artwork that she's done, and you can check her out on Instagram, which is down the bottom there for you to see. It's colourful, I like it. Okay, so here is our bottle post, which we will look at just shortly. They've definitely changed the paper. This feels like recycled paper now, and I'm assuming that that is an eco-friendly decision, so we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. We also get a set of stickers with Upcrate as well, and they're usually a combination of some of the featured artists' work and other things as well. I'm absolutely loving this. It looks like it's been spray painted on with a stencil. That's really, really nice. I like that. We've got a little leaflet here as well for Freddy's Flowers. This is a German company, so I'm not sure how well that would work here in the UK, but it's nice that they've included that as well. Now, the next thing I always like to look at is the surface that we've got, because sometimes that can give away what's in the box, and this absolutely does not give away what's in the box. It is sealed. You'd think with nails like this I'd be able to get into stuff like this with ease. Not always the case. Get out. So, they're, right, okay, they were loose sheets, but they, I thought this was like a cardboard backing, but it's actually toned paper. This is interesting. Oh, there's lots of paper here. Okay, this paper feels smooth. There's not much tooth in that. It's quite thick. It's almost like cardstock. So I would go as far to say maybe 250 GSM perhaps, but we do have 2 sheets of toned paper as well, which seems to have a little bit more texture, so that's really interesting. I don't know what that means in terms of supplies. If it was just the white paper, I would think markers or ink maybe. Now I have absolutely no clue, so that's half the fun. Wow. Studio Lascaux, the Spirit of Colours, and this is a free sample apparently, and it's all in, is it in German? Oh, Swiss made, so it might be in, oh, right, okay, now, so this is some kind of ink, clearly, and we have neutral grey, we have buff titanium, and we have black oxide as well. These are quite interesting. I wonder if they've got any, oh, okay. Can I unscrew this? Yes, I can. Oh, it's paint. There's not much smell to it, which is good. That always makes me happy. I don't actually know what kind of paint this is, so we'll have to investigate that in our bottle post in just a moment. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. I'm sure lots of you will be familiar with these from your childhood. I can't believe they've put these in an Upcrate. These are kids' toys. These are not art supplies. I can't get over this at all. Basically, you turn these round and you blow, and it splatters the ink and gives you like a spray paint effect. So when I was talking there about the sticker that looks as if it'd been spray painted, that's exactly what's been used. So it now makes sense that this cardstock, this is to make your stencils on and then cut them out and you do the actual design on the paper. Novel idea, and makes for an interesting box. I really don't know what these are for then, but this kind of made me laugh. Right, what else have we got? We've got a precision cutter. Okay, so this is to make your stencils. A replaceable safety blade. That's actually a really handy thing to have, and that's quite a nice thing to get in a subscription box, because obviously it's something that can be reused. Non-magnetic, it doesn't rust. Okay, so that looks like quite a good product. I would be interested to try that out. The blade looks tiny on it as well. Wow. And we've also got a little sponge applicator as well, which looks fun. This has just made me laugh, like it really has made me laugh. Okay, let's take a look at the bottle post and see if we can learn some more about the supplies, particularly these, because I'm not sure what this paint is or what it's for. This seems a lot thicker than normal as well, the bottle post, like there's more in it. We're starting with these little bottles, and it is acrylic paint. Okay, that's good. What a catch. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Lascaux has been producing premium acrylic paint since 1963, which are even used for the restoration and preservation of cultural assets. Well, that's interesting. Light, fast, non-aging and non-yellowing. The brand wants to enable a unique type of painterly expression. The colours are not only highly pigmented and creamy, they can be combined with a wide variety of painting mediums and even suitable for airbrush and screen printing techniques. Again, it's a really odd selection of colours though, but in a way it's kind of not. They go together. Black, grey and something that's like an off-white, so that would be quite nice for a monochromatic piece. I'm not sure how we're supposed to use these with the supplies that we've got, because really all we've got is this sponge applicator. So I think maybe what they're suggesting is that you'd use the blue pens for a background maybe, and then make a stencil and use this to with these colours to create the foreground or the main part of the... I'm not really sure about that, but okay. Yeah, see, they've got it with the little sponge here. I think that's the idea. Very good brushing properties, dilutable with water, okay. Extremely concentrated and economical, very good opacity. Luminous and vibrant, satin matte finish, water resistant when dry. Optimal adhesion on practically any clean surface. Light, fast, non-aging and non-yellowing. So it's basically just got the properties of most acrylic paint. And again, they give you the colour chart. This is something I really like about Upcrate now. They always provide the colour palette of whatever supply it is they've got. So it's nice if it's something that you enjoy. It's nice to be able to look and see what other colours are available. I really like this cobalt green light. And I also really like this emerald green as well. I don't know what I'd use them for, but yeah. The slice cutters are not only safe and precise, their rust-proof micro-ceramic blades can even withstand the stormiest of seas. The blade stays sharp up to 11.2 times longer than ordinary steel knives. That's very exact, meaning you have to replace it less often. The blades do not transmit electricity, generate no sparks from cutting, and are non-magnetic. In addition, the edge of the knife is specially sharpened to prevent cuts if accidentally touched. Interesting. That might be helpful for me. All of these attributes make slice precision cutters safer and more user-friendly than other products. This is why these ceramic knives are particularly popular with creative people and artists. Have fun cutting with this powerful tool. The blade looks really, really small in this, so I'm really keen to have a nosy at it. Ooh. Okay, I thought this was like a retractable kind of thing. It's not. Come on, autofocus, you can do it. Very small. So that's quite interesting. Curious. The size of this blade though, you're going to be able to get really, intricate cuts. You can do something really detailed with that. I quite like that. Okay, so this is telling you a little bit about the company that's made it. The company has developed a collection of award-winning safety cutters. So they're obviously, that's their thing, that's what they do. So that's pretty good as well. Product, Wind of Colour. Breathe in and go. With this blow pen, you simulate working with airbrush paint without the risk of inhaling toxic fumes. The use of this pen is in fact harmless to health in accordance with European guidance. European guidelines on toy safety. Now note that phrase, toy safety. These are kids' toys. Experiment with your distance to the paper as you blow. The closer you are to the surface, the smaller the area you are spraying. And they've got some examples here as well, so you can get some quite nice effects with them. I remember Draw with Jazza, which is now just Jazza. He did a video where he used blow pens and tried to create something epic, and I think he was actually felt quite lightheaded after it. Okay, so we get a little tutorial here on how to use them. So they actually give you step-by-step pictures as well if you're not sure. Okay, the stencil brush. The fine poured foam tip with a diameter of 2 centimetres of this brush is ideal for dabbing and stamping water-soluble colours on fabric and textiles. Rinse it off thoroughly after use so that you can use it for stenciling and stamping more often. The paper. So SMLT paper. The painting papers of the Platinum line are a perfect choice for the beginning of your painting journey. 250 GSM cellulose paper. Yes, I was right. It's quite thick and has been specifically created to soak up liquids and paint. Achieve luminous results by using watercolour, gouache or acrylic paints. In contrast to that, the Art Sketch Pad Authentic Grey, so this is our toned paper, has been made for dry drawing techniques but is also the perfect material to cut out stencils. The grey tone of this paper allows a different approach to drawing and painting as you're starting from a mid-tone to add highlights and shadows. So they're talking about using it for drawing as well as just for stencils. It lets the shape of your stencil stand out against the white paper underneath. Acid-free paper is 15% cotton fibres and 20% recycled fibres to add roughness, volume and strength. It's nice to have that variation in paper though, I quite like that. So here is our co-captain, which is the featured artist, and there is a little bit about her there. Seeing some of her artwork here and also asking her about her arty preferences. So the co-captain's tips. The artwork I made is not the classic way of using the stencil. There are more opportunities in using it rather than just the stereotypical way, so don't feel restricted in your creativity and have fun experimenting. Special tips for your stencil artwork. Make sure to turn your paper around if you want to cut around a corner, not your hand and body, so turn the paper, not your hand. Use your cutout forms as a negative, positive part of your stencil work and change the distance of the blow pens to the paper to get different textures. Obviously, the further away you are from the paper with the end of your blow pen, you're going to get a very delicate and wide spread, whereas if you're up close, it's going to be much more concentrated and all the little particles are going to stick closer together. Talking about the how to do video as well, which is usually done by the featured artists, so you can see some examples of her work there and watch her do her thing. And we've got a little bit of art history here talking about stencils, so they're keeping it they're keeping it relevant, which is nice as well. Again, great to read with a cup of tea, do that quite often. Okay, so now we're on to the art hacks section. This has become a regular feature, and we've got more information and tips on how to use stencils. So she likes to plan her stencils out first, maybe by sketching them out. And she's given a little demo here of different ways that you can use them. And she's showing you how to layer it up using different stencils to give you that nice sort of layered effect. And that's pretty nice actually, I like that. Specific steps on cutting out the stencils. So she's talking about simplifying shapes to make it easier to cut out. And then bigger shapes and patterns as well, which is something I actually never thought about. But yeah, that's a good idea too. So quick tips and reminders here. Work on a surface that can take scratches, obviously when you're cutting out. Remember that you can flip and rotate your stencils, that's a good one as well. And you can block parts of your artwork just with a plain piece of paper. You can recycle paper, sometimes packages have nice cutouts. And make sure you let your layers dry, that's a good one. You can spray thin paint with an old toothbrush or a normal brush for bigger paint splatters. I kind of like that, I like doing that sometimes. And to reuse your stencils, let them dry on a plastic surface and don't let them stick together. And again, another little description here of this artwork, and it's actually really nice, I really like it. Upcrate Battle, Mysterious Mind, and we've got some lovely entries here as well. I like this one. I like the colour in this one as well. That's really, really nice. Really nice. Sketched Dreams. This was our psychedelic funk circus one. This one was my favourite. There's quite a lot going on in these artworks as well, they're really good. And this is the third place as well, love it. So on this next page we have a tutorial from Captain Crate, and it's for a letter stencil, which is really nice as well. I'm liking the fact that we are getting these stencil tutorials, but also that they're different as well. And this is a fairly detailed how-to, which I like as well. Detail is always handy when we're doing step-by-step things. So that's quite impressive. And there's also more extra tips. more tips to help us along our way in terms of our stenciling. And this is pretty complex. This is pretty detailed. I like it very much. Talking about layered backgrounds and mixing the pens. Really good. Really good. Lots of detail. So we have our Sailor of the Month, and it's Louisa. And look, our artwork's very distinctive as well. Very distinctive. So that tells you a little bit about her. Yes, so this is talking about an artist, a bit of inspiration here, and talking about, her art journey and all those kind of things. What is your artistic process like? So getting into some really detailed information here. Again, very distinctive artwork. And she's describing a technique as well. So we've got more tutorial type stuff as well. Again, all very interesting and quite in depth as well. And this is showing you some of our results as well. Excellent, very good indeed. Inspiration radar, so this is stencil artists on Instagram. And then down here it's a little bit about the refer a friend scheme that they do as well. And now the moment of truth, let's see what our battle prompt is. Oh, cut my life into pieces. Oh my goodness. I hope some of you will get that reference, and if you do know the reference, please feel free to drop a comment underneath the video. That's tickled me something chronic. And the prize for this Upcrate battle is a set of the acrylic paints that we've got in the box, so that's quite nice as well. It does say underneath lead pencils are allowed at any time. You can do whatever you want with that prompt, really. Okay, so let's get down to business now and let's test out some of these supplies. I'm curious about the blue pens now. So we have 3 primaries in black. So to be fair, that's a sensible selection of these pens. So this is really straightforward. Basically, all we need to do is take the cap. The cap is this part. So we take that off and put it to the side. And then with your pen, you put it into the transparent part and push it right down until the nib fits into, there's like a little dinkle in the end here, and you can just see the nib poking out, and you literally wrap your mouth around this part and blow. So let's see how this goes. Yeah. That looks really offensive on camera, it's just because it's wet. It's wet. But yeah, that is basically all there is to it. So you can see I've got a much more concentrated area here because it's closer. And then when I sort of went off to the side, it's given us a bit more of a pattern. But we'll let that dry. We'll try out some of these other colours as well. I think these could be a bit wayward if you got a bit silly with them. You got a bit blow happy, if such a phrase exists. Let's try further away. So bigger splatter radius. And there's close up. I'll zoom in a little bit. I have to say as well, I'm not having to blow hard to get this to do anything. So you could cover quite a large area fairly quickly with that. And lastly, we've got the black. I'm kind of hoping the black will go over the top of these and, still stand out. And it's not going to be like wishy-washy black. Okay, so it's covered over the blue quite well. So yeah, I mean, these work. These are tried and tested. Obviously, I am not a young person, and these were around when I was a kid. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think we're going to get some quite interesting effects. I do feel that we are having to... we're really having to use our imagination and, really, really dig into that creativity if we're going to create something that's not necessarily outstanding, but something that's going to be good. And now we've got this paint to try out. I just am wondering if it's drying out. Yeah, it's drying really quickly as well, so there's no problem there. I just want to try out this paint now. I really do. I take it we have to snip the lid off that. That makes sense. I'm going to test out the colours with a normal paintbrush because I don't want to have to go and wash my sponge in between each application. I just want to see what the colour's like, and we'll try out the sponge last and then I can just go and rinse it straight away. Oh, so that is really flat colour, which is what I would hope for from acrylic paint, and it's very silky. It's going down on the paper really well, and I've no problems leaving brush strokes behind or anything, so that is good quality acrylic paint. I don't paint in acrylic very often. But I've done enough to know what classifies as good paint and what's not good paint. And that definitely feels like good paint. Okay, let's try the buff titanium. Yeah. Oh, I've got a bit of contamination. Okay, I must not have cleaned my brush properly. I've got a little bit of grey showing through there. Okay, and lastly we've got this black. And again, I'm hoping this is really flat colour. Now they did say it's got a matte satin finish on it, but also these bottles are not full in equal quantities. This one's not filled up in the neck of the bottle, but the grey's filled right up to the top. I can see that there. It's sitting right at the top. So you're not getting a guaranteed amount of paint here, which is interesting also. Oh, that's a bit disappointing. Oh no, it's not. I'm telling lies. It's just the way it's going down the paper. When it's drying pretty flat though. Okay. Oh wait a minute, my grey had an air bubble in it. It's not full anywhere near the top either. And it just so happens I have a palette handy here. I didn't even plan this. This is actually for another video. But I'll bring this in here. And I'll just splodge a wee tiny bit of this out. Oh, and I can dip my sponge in. Make sure I've got coverage at the end here. Okay. So again, we can get texture with this, we can get like a stippled effect, but we can also use it to brush in the traditional sense and smooth out. And I'm imagining with a slightly drier sponge, you know, if I keep going here, you can get some quite delicate effects, you know, when you're almost out of paint on the end of your sponge. And because this paint's opaque as well, we'll be able to layer up over the top. So if I go and wash my sponge, I could come back in with the buff titanium and this grey underneath wouldn't show through. So this is what I'm talking about there. Look, we can get a much more delicate effect. And I dare say we can still brush as well if I go around in a wee scumbling motion the way I would do with my coloured pencil. You know, you're getting quite an interesting texture there as well. So there's actually a lot of room for play with this as well. And although initially I wasn't that impressed, I've kind of become impressed over the course of this unboxing. So that's what we've got to play with. I'm kind of warming to this idea. I'm warming to this idea. So let's make sure we put the right lids back in the right bottles. That would be helpful. As soon as I'm finished filming this, I will go and clean off my sponge so that the acrylic paint doesn't stick to it and then I can't use it again, because that would be bad. Okay, finally I just want to test out this little ceramic cutter because it's not something I've ever played with before. I'm just going to go and grab a cutting mat. It's nice that I get to pull out this old relic every now and then. This was, for our newer subscribers and newer viewers, this was the original backdrop at the very beginning when we first started the cave. And it's well worn, and you can see it's quite well decorated now as well with various sparkly things and not so sparkly things. I'm just going to try this down one side. I can't get over how small the actual blade is, but I want to see if we can get the sort of intricacy that they were talking about. And I'm going to turn my hand here just because this isn't going to be any sort of pattern, but I mean, I'm navigating some pretty sharp turns there as I'm going along. I'm not having to press that hard and it's going straight through, no problem. But the question is it going through enough? And the answer is no. I've got like a perforation there. Oh, okay. Oh no. I can't even pull that off. You know, sometimes if you're like 3/4 of the way through, then you can usually pull it and it just comes away. That's not the case here. So I would have to press harder again, which isn't an easy thing for me to do with any degree of accuracy, because although I've got motor function in my hand, in these fingers I've got no feeling in them, and I have to gauge how much pressure I'm putting on something like through my wrist and my elbow, and it's not always accurate. Like I have to use my hand rather than my fingers to, oh dear, I've gone away over. Don't know if I'm that impressed with this cutter, I'll be honest. Oh, right, I'm pressing as hard as I can, I think, here. Okay, it's coming away now. Yeah, and I mean the paper's not that thick. Okay. What if we were to do like well, let's even just try a triangle. So I'm starting pressing harder this time. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just wasn't pressing hard enough, that's all. Yeah, I might just keep that. That might come in handy for my actual artwork. Okay, overall, I've definitely warmed to this box over the course of this unboxing. I'm really impressed with the amount of stenciling information there is in the bottle post this month as well. This is a really, really good resource. If you're like me and you're not familiar with stenciling in an artistic formula, most of us did something like this as kids, but as an adult this is something I've never done. The blow pens are going to be good fun. As a serious art supply, maybe not, but that's not to say we can't create something really cool with them, and I'm determined that I want to incorporate these acrylic paints because these are really nice acrylic paints. So all in all, not a bad box. I feel like the prompt's a bit... It's almost a bit too wide open. I'm sure we'll come up with something for our Upcrate battle video in a week or so's time. So that's it for today, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on this box. Whether you think this is ridiculous or whether you think this is really good. The box as a whole, I like it because it's going to get us thinking and trying new things. Certainly for me anyway. And that really, really appeals to me. Especially coming from a monthly box where sometimes, you know, the supplies can get quite repetitive. So overall, excellent. Really impressed with it this month. And we'll see how we get on in our next video. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. Please stay safe, take care of each other, and I will see you back in the cave really soon for another video. So have a great day, everyone, and bye-bye for now.